All right, I'm afraid I've opened up kind of a little can of worms here on this. Now that I've done a few little projects for the Scouts, I'm getting messages like galore for adults who said, "Hey, I'd like to learn soap carving too, and do some adult projects as well as children's projects and stuff." And so, I have to admit, I haven't done a lot of soap carving. I started out with wood. Of course, I don't think it's a whole lot different. It's just you got to be a little bit more careful because soap is so delicate and things like that. But and you don't actually learn. You don't have the grain involved in it and such as. So what I thought I would do is start off with the kids or start off with the young people with the very, very simple projects to do for children. Scouts. These kids usually range, or this group of kids was in like 11, 12, something like that, in other words. And 11, 12-year-olds are pretty big kids nowadays and stuff. And some of them are like 10 to 12, up to 12, I think, basically what that had written me. So we'll start off with them, and then we'll go into a little bit deeper projects. I just didn't know that it would spark this kind of interest with soap. Maybe a lot of people just don't know where to start with wood, so they create. Now there's other things. There's wax you can use. There's other things that you can carve. You can carve most anything except stone. Well, you can carve stone. You can carve a lot of things, but soap is very easy. Now I understand it's very simple and it cuts very easily, but you also have to understand it is not real pliable. I mean, in other words, it doesn't. It's very delicate afterwards and can break very easily. So for a child's project, now I'm going to start. Here's a little whale that I did out of wood, and for a children's project, I thought making it out of soap would be just as well. In other words, so I'm going to draw this in like this, and kind of come up here like this and come down here like this, and just sort of draw a I'm going to come a little bit further down like that. There we go. And we're going to make a little well, just sort of like this. In other words, real simple projects for children. We don't want to go too strong on it in such a way. Now, I know that children, most of the time, they work with wooden knives and stuff like that. So basically, I'm working with a regular knife here, but by showing you how to just shape it is probably the best thing in the world, the way it comes. So basically, I just drew a pattern here, and we'll work from there. Okay? All right. Well, of course, we go to the outside and we begin to remove the soap. That I'm really kind of shocked at the response I've been receiving from adults that would like to do soap carving and to give to children. And so it's just kind of blown me away. I mean, I'm really getting a lot of requests for it. So maybe it's, you run into something a little bit easier and stuff. I don't know. But now we've got our whale. And maybe it's something that's easier. It just cuts, your knife just cuts through it like butter in a way. So let's go ahead and continue what we're doing here. All right. And then we're going to get the shape, cut a little bit off in here. Now, the thing about soap carving is you're very limited because you only have like a 3/4 inch here that you can carve with. But you know, you can use more than one bar of soap. You can, like if you do a figure or something, I guess you could do the figure in 3/4 and then do the arms out of another piece or something like that. You know, it's just the way they own. But okay. And they're cute when they get through them. I have to admit that. They are cute. But where it would take you longer in wood, you know, you can do it very quickly. All right, now we have the basic shape of the whale right here. Okay? All right. Now, as we see with the figure, we're going to, where's my pencil at? We're going to come up here and we're just going to kind of shape this. This is a real simple project for a child. You can see all we're doing is just shaping. Come in a little bit more. We want that tail to really stick up on that thing, okay? We want that to happen. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the back here. And we're going to kind of find a halfway point on this this whale. And we're going to draw a line. And we're going to make a cut right there, okay? Very lightly, make you a little cut right there. Okay. And then we're going to take one side and we're going to come down a little bit on it, okay? I'm going to come down a little bit like that. We're going to make a little cut in here. Here we go. Bring this down just a little bit. Okay. Then we're going to thin this up back here. All right. We'll just kind of come down here a little bit like this. A little bit like that. Okay. Now we're going to thin this up. In this area we're going to thin this up in this area, and we're going to really thin it up a lot. There we go. Just like that. See that? Kind of we're going to really make this thinner back here. Like this. Okay. Now, what we're going to do just like that. We're going to come in here and we're going to thin this up, okay? Just like that. And we're going to come in here and we're going to thin that up just like that. Okay? See how you kind of seeing the tail now on the little whale? Okay. And we're going to come even more like this. See how you've got the tail here? And we're going to start thinning this up a little bit. And we're going to thin this up in here. We're going to thin that up a little bit more in there. And I'm going to bring that just like that. And then we're going to kind of bring this area up in here, sort of a, there we go, just like that. I'm going to bring this area back. I'm going to cut into there, just like that. And then we're going to thin this up in here. I'm going to make this pretty thin, what I'm saying. See this? Where it looks like a fin, in other words, sort of back here. We're going to thin that up pretty strong in here. See how it makes it from the back side. I'm going to cut it down like that, but we're going to thin this up in here, excuse me, and in here. There we go. See that? Take a little bit more off in there. Take a little bit off in there. In such a way. Then we're going to take and we're just going to kind of make these thinner in here. Okay? Well, be careful. Just make that a little bit thinner in there. See? It looks like little fins. We'll go bring this right here, thinner. And if you have a little wooden knife, just kind of scrape it. Just like that. And then you take and you sort of round this off in here. My time is almost about up. This is a little well. See that? Okay, I'm going to thin that a little bit more. Thin that a little bit more. We're going to thin. See how the back of the tail looks like it's a tail or wing, in other words, like that. A fin, let's put it that way. Okay, well, my time is up, and we'll finish this thing up, okay? Look at that.